What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Triple Nexus. I think we're on episode 5 already. God damn, that means we've been recording this shit for over a month. We do apologize for the late release of the podcast. It was my birthday this weekend, so I was too busy getting absolutely hammered on Saturday night in order to record. And life happens, so we're recording right fucking now. So thank y'all for tuning in and for sticking in. I'm not ND. I'm Nerd King. I was gonna say I'm ND, bro, because I got ND's beautiful face on my mind. Damn straight, y'all. I'm Nerd King. Burns, ND, y'all know what it is. All right, let's talk some anime shit. Just get right into it, bro. Super Saiyan 4. This is some Daima spoilers type shit. So if y'all are not caught up with Daima, just skip ahead like 20 minutes in this goddamn thing. So Daima decided to bring back Super Saiyan 4, or they're not calling it Super Saiyan 4. Like, it's just like Goku's kind of like innate, like primitive power, I think is what the fuck they're calling it in Daima. Yo, I got a fucking bone to pick with Dragon Ball fans this week. Like, straight up. Just because it's in Dragon Ball does not mean it is better than everything else. I just want to start that shit off, bro. Just because it was trending on motherfucking Twitter doesn't mean it broke the internet. Just because one dude posted a fucking fake-ass made screenshot does not mean that shit broke the fucking internet. It absolutely pisses me. Modern-day fucking anime fans piss me off so fucking much, and specifically Dragon Ball fans. That shit was like big ass hands, fucking action figure looking fucking transformation, bro. And it brought everybody back in with Daima from some fan service ass bullshit. Fan service ass bullshit. Me and Birds were actually just talking about that before the podcast even started. But like, we were talking about how we stopped watching Daima. I wasn't even interested in Daima until they said Super Saiyan 4. And now guess what? My ass is gonna get caught up before the next episode because I'm excited because fan service worked the fuck on me. Fan service worked on my ass. I think it's like, the writing in GT was so much better. I'm so sick and tired of the Dragon Ball trope of like, let's have somebody bring out your innate power once again. Like, fuck that shit, bro. Think of something fucking new. Like, Goma looks like he belongs as a part of the Pride Troopers from Universe 11. It's the same exact fit. Like, stop with the recycled bullshit nonsense, bro. Like, I'm getting tired of it because Dragon Ball is better than the stuff that they're getting with Daima. I'm passing it on to you.
It's like they're leaning into the stereotypes, honestly. That everybody talks about on the internet with the whole just screaming and being given transformations for no reason and fan service and they just leaned fully into it and it worked. And again, like, it worked on me too. I'm hella interested now that I saw Super Saiyan 4, which is allegedly canon, because I think Daima's supposed to be canon. It's supposed to be between when he got Super Saiyan God and the Buu Saga. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, also that's a little bit of an L as well because it was never in Super either, though.
Yep.
And then they have to pull this thing where it's like, oh no, he was given it, and it wasn't the same thing as the ritual with Super Saiyan God. So then that brings up a bunch of confusing shit where why is it never mentioned in Super? Why does no one talk about this shit? Same thing with Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta at the same time. But I'm also one of those people too where it's like, you know what, fuck the continuity at this point. Just give me the screaming. Just give me the monkey form. I know Frieza's yelling slurs right now as we speak, seeing that shit.
Yo,
he saw that shit. He's coming up with new creative ones.
Oh my
god.
But
it's I can't say in good faith that it's good, if that makes sense. Like, even like, I'm kind of hyped that I saw it, but it's really not good from a writing perspective. It's just fan service purely. But
Andy, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, I think kind of going off what both of you guys were saying, like, when I saw it, I didn't really think it was like cool. I'm gonna be honest. I was never a fan of the whole them turning into kids thing. I feel like with GT, like, if it was just like one person turning into a kid, I was okay. Like, we can like make this work. I mean, it works for Goku's personality anyway. Like, that wasn't that big of a deal. But I feel like now it's like everybody is like like a fucking baby, like and it's like Super Saiyan 4, and it's like it's supposed to look like cool and hype and all, but like it really just kind of looks like a baby furry. Like, I don't know, it's just not
like a baby Popeye.
Like, it's just not for me. Like, it's just not it for me.
But at least with GT, it was supposed to make him an adult, and he had that aura.
Yeah.
But when I saw the photos, like, it doesn't really look cool in my opinion. In the midget form, in the kid form, he needs to grow. Then it'll be better.
This is some spoilers I'm letting y'all know for the next episode of Dragon Ball Daima. So if y'all are not caught up or y'all don't want that spoiled, skip it. I'm hearing some early rumblings of adult Super Saiyan 4 in the next episode versus
Yeah,
Goma.
I heard that too.
I'm
I
hearing
heard that
some
too.
rumblings that they're sprinkling
I did not
that
hear
in.
that through the grapevine.
However, that goes all the way back to my point of people were getting mad because fans were already starting to compare it to GT once they like Goma wished them to be kids. You know what I mean? They were like, this is just a reskin of Dragon Ball GT. They're doing the same shit over and over again. And of course, Dragon Ball fans flipped shit and said, no, they're not. But then again, you have the same shit. Goku going Super Saiyan 4. You just gave it a different name and you gave it a different reason in order to be Super Saiyan 4. However, both kind of are the same thing. You going back to those primitive Saiyan roots. That's what Super Saiyan 4 was in fucking the Golden or Super Saiyan in Great Ape, and then it went all the way back down to that and
way
was
cooler
able to
in
focus
GT.
that power. And it's the same shit now, except the Namekian just brought it out in him. It is the same fucking thing. And Dragon Ball, like with the original Super Saiyan transformation, with the writing in original Dragon Ball, it's like you don't have to recycle the same old shit over and over again to get people to watch. People watch that new fucking Dragon Ball shit. Like, they didn't, like, it's not, like, even from the beginning of OG Dragon Ball all the way to, like, Cell Saga, it's different. Like, they were doing different shit. Like, they had different continuity for, like, all the Saiyans and everything like that. You don't need to redo the same thing in order to get people to fucking watch it. I love original Dragon Ball. It just gets, and now it's just getting boring, bro. Especially since Super Saiyan God was like, yo, we're gonna hold hands and give this dude our power, and then that's it. And it's like, oh, shut the fuck up. Like, we're gonna give Orange Piccolo a new form, and because he's a Namekian, he's gonna reach God Key level because the Dragon Balls. Like, fuck you. You're also telling me you couldn't get more creative than Goma wishing people to be kids? Again? You're telling me this dude who's supposedly the new Supreme Demon King couldn't get more creative than just wishing them to be fucking kids, yo? Like, do something different. It pissed me the fuck off. Like, Super Saiyan 4 was cool, but give me some fucking writing, bro. I'm sleeping through the first 17 episodes, and you finally gave me a little crumb of stuff to hold on to watch the finale. Congratulations. But there's just some fan service at, like, brain dead ass moments that I really didn't give a fuck about until you tapped into the nostalgia of my childhood.
If it was any other series, it would probably be getting shit on online, not gonna lie. Doing the exact same thing.
I do have to give it a little bit of credit for the sense of, like, I didn't like how they, like, departed so far from the whole, like, Saiyans having, like, monkey powers and having, like, being based on, like, the whole, like, monkey transformation, Uzaru, Great Ape, whole thing. I feel like by the time we started getting into, like, I don't know, I feel like everything after Super Saiyan 3 was just like, I mean, after Super Saiyan 4, everything after that, they just kind of, like, threw away the whole, like, you know, Saiyan business and the whole thing with, like, the Great Ape. So I feel like them sort of, like, circling back to that, I feel like at the very least, it's, like, making that make sense, like, to me personally. And then on top of that, I just kind of feel like as well, I feel like Daima, like you said, it is basically just like a GT 2.0. But from what I'm hearing, it's only going to be like a one season kind of thing anyway. So it basically is just kind of like here's some fan service, here's some, like, bullshit. Enjoy it, okay, whatever. Like, it's not. I don't think it was ever supposed to be serious anyway. So
yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. I just wish, like, I kind of wish that whole, like, the Super Saiyan kind of transformation taps into the original, or, like, tries to tap into that primitive nature, like you said. I just wish that the whole entire, like, kind of journey of the Super Saiyan or whatever was that. Like, have you ever seen that like, fan made cartoon on YouTube of the Dragon Ball when Broly comes down, like, way early, like, it's Goku in the martial arts tournament, and Broly comes down, and Vegeta comes down, like, after Broly.
Oh,
it's
I know
like
what you're talking
15-minute video, and it's the animation's sick, and Goku, instead of going Super Saiyan, he has this, like, his innate primal rage comes out, and he turns into, like, this, like, Wukong thing, but it's, like, a red transformation, like, fully just goes away and just the whites of his eyes, and he's, like, running around like a fucking ape, and he's fighting like that. Like, that's the type of shit I want to see from that, you know what I mean? And they had a little sprinkle of, like, Goku running in Super Saiyan 4, kind of like he was a monkey, or like an
monkey.
ape. Like that, but I just wanted that to be, like, the whole entire
like, real.
thing. You know,
that uniqueness.
If you're gonna expand past Super Saiyan, give me that uniqueness. Don't just give me, like, we're gonna give him God Key and just make his hair red now. Like, if you're the god of the Super Saiyans, a literal god, right? And you tap into that innate, like, primal rage, you would think that that's what it would have to do with. And that's what some people are theorizing, is that this version of Super Saiyan 4 and Daima is that. Is the original, like, that's the first Super Saiyan god, like the primal kind of instinct, and in Super that's going to be like tightened down or toned down, and that's what that transformation is going to be. You know what? If you can connect it like that, I do, then that, you know what, makes fucking sense to me. However, then I'm kind of pissed at Dragon Ball Super for, like, the incontinuities with that. You know what I'm saying? But if you can find a way to connect that, that's good writing to me. That's the type of shit I love. You know what I mean? When I want to watch fucking fan service, like, I watch Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is great. Solo Leveling is fantastic for ore farming and fan service. The story gets great later on. Dragon Ball, what just pisses me off kind of a little bit about Daima is the early writing of Dragon Ball is so good that I don't think the series needs to dumb itself down to just fan service moments, like bringing back Super Saiyan 4. I think there's more to be had with that, and that's what kind of pisses me off. Like, I just don't like when stories that has shown the potential to have good writing just go back to fucking, let's just get eyeballs on us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they do listen to the fans often. That was the whole thing with when everyone was thinking that they were going to make Gohan the main character in the Cell Saga, but people really loved Goku. They were like, we're not going to do that. We're going to bring Goku back into the spotlight. But that also kind of tracks into them bringing in semi-unique ideas and then kind of putting them on a shelf to then bring them back, just like they did with Super Saiyan 4, shelving the whole Oozaru transformations and the Oozaru Golden version, getting rid of their tails, getting rid of Super Saiyan 4, and it kind of extended beyond past that. With Gohan, he was set up to basically become the main character, always talking about how he has the greatest potential to surpass Goku and Vegeta, be the strongest savior of Earth. Main timeline gets destroyed. The normal Gohan's dead. Everyone's fucking dead, whatever. And then he's shelved. Goku and Vegeta are in the spotlight again, but then the superhero movie comes out. And they go, you guys want to see Gohan be a main character and have some main character energy? Here you go. Here's that thing that we said we were going to give you. We took that away, and then we brought it back right at the right moment, and it worked. Because I watched that movie too, and I fucking loved it, and I loved seeing Gohan be a main character, like he should have been. So I mean, again, it does work, but it's a little consistent that they've been doing this.
No, 100%. I do agree. And they've just shown that they're better than that. You know what I mean? But you're absolutely correct that, like, for kind of the better part of a while now, it's just been more about fucking fan service. Hate that shit, bro. Gohan. I mean, but thinking about it, Gohan's like character arc kind of does make sense in the fact that, like,
No, it definitely does.
When you take a step back from it and, like, not, like, what I wanted was Gohan as the main character. I think that's what a lot of people wanted. I wanted Gohan to take up that mantle of what Goku was, be that savior, because he had that potential, and watching that potential get unlocked, you watch him from when he was fucking 4 years old to when he grew up. You know what I mean? That would have been so, like, cathartic. But I think the whole idea of it was, they, instead of playing more into, like, the hero aspect, like what Goku had, they played more into uniqueness of Gohan, which was the traumatic aspect. Dude, imagine getting your face kicked in by space aliens when you're fucking 5. Like, your head broken by Raccoon, just fucking sitting there like you're a ragdoll. You're a child, bro. Like, the things and your fucking father, who's supposed to protect you, said, son, get your ass over here and save the fucking universe. The dude was 9. I always thought before I watched the Cell Saga, when I played, like, Raging Blast when I was younger, because the name was Gohan Teen. I always thought, this kid's, like, 14 years old. The motherfucker was 9, bro. Saving the whole universe, having to watch all of his friends get the ever-living fuck beat out of them, and then finally unleashing this, like, godly power that nobody around him had. Oh, like, it makes sense, but I also do think they could have cultivated that into, like, you know what? I need to be that hero so nobody has to deal with that. I need to be that hero who protects everything so kids don't have to be traumatized if space aliens came down and fucking wiped out the Earth. You know what I mean? Like, I need to be like my father and take that trauma and use it for something else rather than just fucking studying, kind of going back. It's just a selfish versus kind of what Goku did.
Yeah.
But I do understand that, like, that's justifying it me from, like, a I know how to read type perspective instead of just, you know damn well that original reason came from fan service, like you just fucking said. So you can make reasons for writing in the end, that Super Saiyan Daima transformation or Gohan going away from the spotlight or all that stuff. But we all know deep down it's the fucking fan service that they care about. It's putting more money in the pocket, and that shit's annoying to me.
Fun
I feel
fact:
like at the same time-
sorry. No, you
Oh,
can go.
yeah,
Andy.
yeah, just real quick, I was gonna say, kind of feel like at the same time, it's like when you're kind of like a writer, like Toriyama, for example, like you have something in mind for like Goku's story, and it's like when you finish Goku's story, but like you've already built up like this entire like media franchise, and you have a whole fan base waiting for more shit. At that point, it's like there really isn't more to do. I mean, the story, the character arc that you were writing is over, so like there's nothing left to do except just fan service, right? And like,
Yeah.
no hate, but I'm gonna have to bring up Naruto in this real quick. Like, I feel like with the whole thing with like Naruto, right? Like, Naruto's character arc is over. Like, right? Like Naruto, like the story of Naruto is over. So everything else that's coming on with the Boruto, it's just kind of like, here's shit to have since you guys want more shit, but it's not like this has to exist. You know what I mean?
Yo,
That's
wait,
kind of
wait,
how I
wait.
feel about it.
I wish do you know what I need? Do you know what I need for this podcast? I need one of those boxing bells, just that like under my desk, or like a gong or some shit. Just whenever shit's about to go down, like somebody makes a face, I need to ring
It's
that
not,
bitch.
but like that's
So-
not. You can't compare it like that because Boruto expands on other things that were left off from Naruto. It's
Yeah,
not
but
like Naruto's story's over, but Boruto's story's begun. It's not Naruto's story.
Right,
feel
but
like
you
they
could say the
dragged
exact
it.
same thing about like all the other stuff about with like Dragon Ball and be like, oh well, like they had to explore all this other shit, but no, they didn't though. Like they're just doing it just like
They could have passed it on to Gohan and made a whole new series, and they were like, no, we're just gonna make Goku and Vegeta keep fighting different people and get further out into space and bigger things, universes, etc., tournaments until the end of time, with no seemingly known end goal in sight to progress to.
Well, yeah, I
It's
feel
not the
like- but,
same
like,
as
we-
Boruto.
But I feel like that, like, as much as what you're saying makes sense, it also does kind of make sense too. Because the whole thing with Goku is that the character, like from the beginning, it's kind of been established that Goku has like limitless potential. So like the story, in theory, can go on forever because like Goku can just continue growing strength-wise, and they can just keep adding new planets and new universes and new galaxies.
Then
And new
that's just
things
milking
to, like,
it.
learn.
That's just milking it. And anyone can, and I know people can make the argument that Boruto would be like milking off of Naruto, but I would only agree to that if it was still trying to drag Naruto's story along. Like if they made a Saruto after Boruto, then yeah, you're dragging. Like we don't, you know what I'm saying? Now you're just trying to keep this shit going.
Because I feel like in
Saruto,
theory, couldn't
Torito,
you use
whatever.
the same logic and be like, oh yeah, well Boruto is just expanding on the stuff that was left out in Boruto, and like, right? Like, you could really just say that.
You could, but it depends on how it's left off. If it's left off like open-ended, so seemingly after at least the Buu saga, you were supposed to assume that there was this huge time skip and Goku's different and everything's different and things are gonna get passed on to Oob, and then another series comes out. If that, so like Naruto and Sasuke had a climax, had a resolution to their stories. All right.
Yeah, they had a climax.
Right.
Damn straight.
They had a
yeah.
climax. And so for the next series, originally there wasn't even supposed to be a series, it was supposed to end at the Boruto movie, but then they expanded on things that were left off that was already put into Naruto, like the Otsutsuki. That wasn't dragging on like Madara returns and he's trying to do the same thing over again, or here's just a random one. Like it's expanding from what Kaguya left off on. Like if there was no Boruto, then Naruto really would have ended with some alien coming back to life.
Right.
But because of Boruto, that makes it better. I don't think, even though I love Dragon Ball, I don't think just more Dragon Ball makes Dragon Ball better.
No, I do get what you're saying. Like I can't believe I'm fucking about to y'all clip me defend Barto a little bit, but I do understand just because like Dragon Ball, for instance, like it just like it kind of feels like it was going on a little bit like, okay, we're gonna bring back Frieza because we're out of fucking ideas, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna bring back this loving villain because we can't make like a new one, even though they did that later on down the line. With Boruto, for example, I do agree that more in the beginning they definitely relied on Naruto and Sasuke in order to keep eyes on it. I mean, obviously, like while building up the character of Boruto in order to give it something and give him a power in order to be able to compete with these guys. Now we're way down the line. We can't have this fucking our main character fight like people like Naruto did in the original Naruto, like people that weak, you have to give him a reason to go on. And I think all the stuff like the Karma Seals and like Ishiki and all that stuff, you needed Naruto and Sasuke to be the main like kind of portrayers to be able to handle that problem because they had the strength to handle that problem, and then give Boruto a reason like the fusion and all that stuff in order to go on and have that story kind of revolve around him. Whereas Dragon Ball is a little bit less like that. Where Dragon Ball is kind of just like some of the stuff is like go on, but I do understand what you're saying, Andy, where it could feel like it doesn't need to happen. Well, you're right. It doesn't need. I absolutely don't think. I like it when stories kind of are finished with open-endedness sometimes. When it's like you can fill in the blanks yourself, you know what I mean? Like with Dragon Ball and Oob. I can fill in the blanks as to what happened with Oob. This is Boo coming back. You obviously see that Goku's like training him to just kind of like be the next person or whatever. You know what I mean? Like this is Goku got his wish, and this shit's awesome. And like I don't need to see the rest. With Naruto, it's like this is kind of just the open endedness. It was to the point where it's like he got married. Like I love my boy. He had a son. Look at him have this future. I don't necessarily need to see the rest. However, I do think the expansion upon that ended up in Boruto, like it did make sense to that point of like we need to get Boruto up here ramped up in order to be able to fight like this next kind of wave of villains. You know what I'm saying? As much as people like to be like, Boruto, like all that stuff, like I do feel like there is some sense to it. If that makes sense to you, Andy.
No, it definitely doesn't make sense. But I also will push back against it a little bit to say that this and the whole kind of like what you kind of already said, that like a lot of these series, even when the story is over, they will keep it open-ended a little bit, just so the audience can just kind of like imagine that like, you know, that this is like a world that like continues to exist outside of like the storyline, so to speak. Word. So like they can still feel like that there's more, even though there really isn't more. And I think that like, kind of like you said, like the way that Dragon Ball ended off, where it's like you can kind of imagine that the story would continue, but it wasn't because the story was actually supposed to continue. It was just sort of like you as the audience kind of just have it in your head, like, oh, then like this goes on and happens, and then they live happily, like blah blah blah. I kind of feel like you could make that same like exact like logic for Naruto, because if the whole thing was like, you know, the cycle of, like Naruto like ends the cycle of hatred, and then after that he brings peace to the Shinobi world, but then he has a son. It's like, okay, yeah, he has a son, and then I just imagine in my head like, oh, what happens after that? But like, it's like, oh, but like now we're gonna write his son's story. It's like you don't have to do that. Like,
of course, no, I don't.
Well, that's why I was saying it connected with Kage, because it's like, okay, where did these people come from? What's their connection? How is this gonna affect the future? Like, if it was
right.
I would hate if it was something like the same thing. Cycle of hatred comes back, blah blah blah.
But I feel like, that's what I'm gonna kind of push back against a little bit, in the sense of like, I do kind of feel like they were milking, not like they weren't like milking it, but milking it a little bit, in the sense that I kind of feel like, for example, like they say like the cycle of hatred is over, but here comes Boruto and Kawaki, and I'm just like, and yeah, you can like rationalize and intellectualize about it, about why it's not the same thing, but dude, like we all know, like I have eyes and I know what I'm looking at here. You know what I mean? It's like. It's like the whole thing with like, even like with Kara, it's like, yeah, it's like technically it's supposed to, but like, dude, this is the Akatsuki dog. I kind of feel like if we're gonna say that,
Alien
like,
Akatsuki.
I feel like if we're gonna say that Dragon Ball Super is like, or even like the whole thing with Kashin Koji being a clone of Jiraiya, I feel like I just kind of feel like if we're gonna say Dragon Ball Super is kind of being excessive for no reason, I kind of feel like it's not like you can apply that to like other stuff too. And even like I'm gonna like be honest too and be like, if Bleach starts doing that shit too, I'm gonna be like, yo, just end the series. We don't need Kazuki's whole story, but we're just adding on to all the stuff that, like, dude, you don't have to do that. Just end the story.
If Luffy has a motherfucking son, bro, I'm tying cinder blocks to my ankles and jumping in the river, bro. There'll be nothing I can do to defend fucking One Piece.
It's destiny. Naruto and Ichigo already did it. It's your turn next.
It's right.
Oh, but all the people on the moon, and like, it shows that there are races on the moon, and that means that there could be races on other planets. And Luffy's son is gonna go and explore. Because, like, you don't have to do that.
Space racism.
I do get what you're saying. That both of you guys are spitting right now. I understand from both points and perspectives, and it doesn't need to happen. I that's kind of just my like takeaway from this conversation, is that the spin-offs don't necessarily need to happen. There's some where authors want to add context. But, like, in this instance, you know, it's like, all right, let's continue the story. This shit's making fucking guapo taco right now, bro. Like, let's just continue it in that sort of way. And his tactics from Naruto definitely come back. Like you said, Kalki and Naruto and all that stuff. And, like, the Karma and all that. and like the new Akatsuki. It's like it does the author's tactics come up over and over again. And if you have a spinoff, it's inevitable that you're gonna see fucking some of the same shit that you saw in fucking. That's part of the reason why like a lot of again beginning Boruto was just these characters but older. It's more the universe is already established. Less fucking work I gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
And I also kind of feel like. Also kind of feel like with like a like continuation or whatever, I feel like it also runs the risk of like just making the series just like overall like worse. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of times like authors will do this thing where they'll keep a lot of things like open ended, because it's supposed to like, whereas they haven't actually like thought about it, they just kind of like put it in there to give the illusion of depth when in reality they haven't actually like really thought about it. It's kind of hard to explain, but like if you like sort of like look into writing for like I think an example I can give is like, you know how people always mention the one dude that like fought Kakazu, like the one like monk with like the hands, like
yeah
people always bring that up and like, oh,
Asuma's
like I
friend.
wonder what they're like, oh, I wonder what the depth and the lore of that is, but there is no depth and lore. They just put it in there just to do it. Like like Kishimoto didn't write out some whole fucking massive manifesto about this guy's lore and backstory. Like he just put it there. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like a lot of times they do kind of put to give the illusion of depth to make the world feel bigger where they haven't really thought about it. But I feel like there comes a point where like when you start trying to actually like explain every single thing, it runs the risk of making it worse. And on top of that, I feel like a lot of times after the author has communicated the main theme they're trying to communicate, they just kind of stop caring. So then it's just kind of like the effort is just not really there. So it's like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like it like at that point, I kind of feel like it would just be better to just like end the work like completely instead of like trying to like drag it just to drag it. For lack of, but like for example, I feel kind of like I like the Boruto movie, but I feel like if it ended after the Boruto movie, then like it would give me like in my head like all these things that oh this could potentially happen, but like without actually like canonizing it, if that makes sense.
I mean, the reason it probably would feel fine if it ended at the Boruto movie is because the Boruto movie was supposed to be the end. There wasn't supposed to be a Boruto manga or anime. Kishimoto was gonna go do Samurai 8, do his own shit, and leave it at that.
Right.
But motherfuckers spent money on that movie, and they wanted more money. Studio Pierrot, they were like, let's get it going. Let's make an anime. Boruto's in. And they try to do it. But that's why also I think, at least in the term of Boruto, it was done in a way in which, at least as a Naruto fan, I don't have complaints. Which is why like I don't not like when people don't like Boruto. You can not like Boruto for any reason. You could be like, oh, I would have preferred to stop at Naruto. It wasn't necessary, which is true. It's not necessary, but I want more Naruto content until the day I fucking croak. So I'm going to fucking eat that shit up forever. I don't give a fuck. But what it does, it doesn't, I don't think at least, it tarnishes Naruto's reputation and themes that were left off from Naruto. That's like, you know, how I've done so many videos on that where someone would be like, Boruto is bad because of this objectively shitty fucking reason. Like, oh, Boruto filler, ignoring the fact that Naruto had more filler. So you can't put Naruto on this pedestal for one thing, and then when Boruto does the same thing, be like, nah, it's ruining Naruto's legacy. So, like, I think in an objective depends, but in a mostly objective sense, it doesn't really tarnish the reputation of Naruto.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's not necessary, but it's nice. And I like it. So I'm gonna keep it at that.
That's fire. That's also, dude, people are gonna be astronomically upset the day that One Piece ends, bro, because there are going to be so many things that have happened in One Piece, so many fights that have been brought up that are just not going to be shown. Like MD said, a lot of that stuff is to make the world feel bigger, because that world is huge. There's a lot of fights and things to show you where people have been. For instance, Gecko Moria versus Kaido. That should happen when Gecko Moria was in his prime. People have been begging to see that fight get animated or a chapter or whatever. I would bet there's a 99.99999% chance that shit is just never going to be talked about in the manga. They're not going to show it. And just to show who Gecko Moria was before, how strong he used to be, and the type of shit as to where he's been. You know what I mean? There's moments like that, like throughout One Piece, where it's like they're just not. It's. I don't think it's necessary. There's a couple necessary moments, like a couple of things that they've indicated for the plot that's going to happen, like what the will of D is and things like that, and what happened at God Valley. They've been slowly dropping things. They've showed us little tiny flashbacks. That's obviously going to get revealed. But the shit in the past, like, we're never going to see everything that happened over the 100 years that they erased. We're gonna get probably the grand synopsis of it. There might be like a couple chapters that showed us like Joy Boy's journey through the Void Century for sure, but you're not gonna get everything. You're not gonna get the depth of the world building that the entire One Piece world has given you throughout that 100 years. It's just not fucking possible. And I think people like want more. You know what I mean? I think people think that's always going to happen. They're always, every time a plot point is brought up, every time a little thing with the side characters is brought up, people just expect that to happen. But authors aren't fucking like they don't have 10,000 chapters of a manga to give you in order to fill out all of this stuff. You know what I mean?
And I think like even like when you think about it, like for like I think like one like common example is like Bleach, for example. People are like, oh well, like if Zaraki is like the 11th Kenpachi, and then like that means that there was like 8 different Kenpachis who we haven't seen. I can't wait to see, what their abilities are. And it's like, dude, Kubo is not thinking about that. He just put that in there just to give the illusion of like length and just to give it like the illusion of depth. Like I guarantee you, he's not thinking about that. Like that's not something that like that matters. You know what I mean? But it's like from a fan's perspective, looking at it, it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he thought about 10 different Kenpachis. I can't imagine how strong they are and all their abilities. It's like, dude. They don't exist.
He ain't planning that. They don't exist.
He just gave a number, bro, to give like the depth of the verse and like how long they've been around.
Just to make it feel long, but like
yes, exactly.
They don't exist.
That shit happens. All right. Well, speaking of, since we've all been talking about the big 3, you know what I mean? Me and Burns posed a question that we want to talk about. We've actually been wanting to talk about it, but One Piece chapter 1138 kind of drove the podcast a little bit off course, but we have to talk about Peak this in its entirety over the past 2 weeks. So. The big 3, we have One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and we're going to add Dragon Ball into that mix. Saw this question on TikTok, Twitter, we kind of talked about it, but we want to talk about it live. Out of those 4, which one are you taking out? Why are you taking that out? Let me know. I'm going to start with you, Burns. I want to know, out of the big 3 in Dragon Ball, which one are you removing and why?
Okay, so just so that we are on the same wavelength, if we remove a series, should we do it affects the future, or it's if you get rid of this series, it's just that gone and nothing is affected, nothing is influenced, nothing like.
I think just that one, because I feel like people are like, oh my goodness, you can't remove Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball influenced it. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Just answer.
Yeah, okay.
I think if it doesn't. Do one of both. When you remove it and everything, it affects everything else, or you're just like writing wise, like fan service wise, all what you prefer in an anime. Which one would you remove? Like all that shit.
Everything, if nothing gets affected whatsoever, Bleach. If nothing changes, Bleach. I see your face, Andy. If absolutely nothing changes, Bleach. If everything changes... Wait, if everything changes, I would get... Okay, no, if everything changes, get rid of Bleach. If nothing changes, get rid of Dragon Ball.
That's what I thought you were going to fucking say.
Because if everything changes when you get rid of Dragon Ball, I don't get Naruto. Yeah. And everything else can go fuck itself. But that's my... Like, if you get rid of Bleach and everything changes, we lose on some inspirations for, like, JJK and fucking Demon Slayer and and Tabata just saying that he was influenced by Bleach. Fuck that shit. You can take that shit and keep Naruto, we're living.
Right.
That's all I need.
So why would you... I'm more interested...
Wait, and are we talking about the anime, or are we talking about, like, the whole everything?
The whole everything.
You're erasing this thing from existence. Yeah. The concept of Bleach and Dragon Ball will not exist in these scenarios. Never even a thought.
Let me wait. Hold on. Before you answer ND, I just have to ask Burns the question about the second part of that. I do understand if the influence is gone, remove Bleach because you don't want to remove Dragon Ball. It's up there. But why, if it affected nothing, would you get rid of Dragon Ball over those other ones? Quick, like 2-minute answer before ND gets into it.
I've said this before in videos. I'm not sure if I said on the podcast before, but I think that, you know how everyone always says, oh, this wouldn't exist without Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball influenced certain aspects of the big 3 in multiple ways in anime for the future. I think the things like that, like Bleach, One Piece, Naruto, I think the things that took influence from Dragon Ball usually do those things better than Dragon Ball. I don't think Dragon Ball in of itself, as much as I love it, it's personally in my top 5, does anything insanely special that other shows don't do better. Like, in terms of writing, I think Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach surpass that. In terms of fight choreography and animation. I think all of them surpass that, with the slight divot on, like, obviously movies and important fights in Dragon Ball, but on a case-by-case basis, I think the big three have better fights. So, like, we can't go like, oh, it's the biggest fighting anime, because I like the fights in the shows that inspired better.
Yeah.
So,
no,
who the fuck, and even, like, aura farming, I can live without the constant screaming and the constant form changes, especially because other people that or characters that don't do it as often, it makes it that much cooler when they do it. So it's not something you get tired of.
I'm sorry, but Ichigo Kurosaki, that's where that sentence ends. There's no specific moment, just Ichigo Kurosaki. Sasuke walking up behind fucking Danzo, bro. Like, yo, give me that ass, bro. I want to take that ass. And then fucking Luffy walking in between Kaido and Big Mom up on the rooftop. Like, give me all those aura farming moments.
That 2v1.
Or fucking Dragon Ball, bro. That shit crazy. Yo, Ichigo, every time they bring up that beautiful ass man and that fucking anime, bro, they just got him with the best, like, silhouettes, the best look. This dude's face is down.
Beautiful man.
Soul Society. It's like, yeah, what the fuck?
They do it.
Hype every single time. All right, and you give me your answer, bro. If it affected everything, what are you getting rid of? And if nothing was affected whatsoever, what are you getting rid of?
I think if nothing was affected whatsoever, I'm probably going to have to get rid of Dragon Ball as well. Even though I do love Dragon Ball and I do enjoy Dragon Ball, I kind of feel like Dragon Ball is like the starter series where it's just like, okay, like if I've never seen any anime in my life, Dragon Ball is peak. But once you actually get into anime, you realize that Dragon Ball is like the originator, but like, you know what I mean? It's like
the originator.
Right, like, yeah, like, it's the originator, but, like, outside of that, like, what's, like, okay, great, like, you know what I mean?
Congratulations.
But I feel like if everything changes, I'm probably going to have to get rid of One Piece.
Nah, oh my god, I was ready to get up if he said Naruto.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of One Piece. The reason why I say that,
bro, I thought it was converting you, bro. Come on, what the fuck?
bro,
It's not
the only
complete. It's not
reason
complete.
why I'm saying that is obviously I can't get rid of Dragon Ball because it influences the big three. But then when you have the big, I just kind of feel like every new gen takes from Naruto, but is also influenced by Bleach. So I kind of feel like I kind of feel like New Gen is basically just like Naruto with like Bleach influence in it, like with like Bleach like aesthetic influenced into it.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like because One Piece is like its own like separate like thing, where it's like whereas it's like Dragon Ball and then like Naruto and Bleach, then they ended and then New Gen followed after that. I kind of feel like One Piece kind of started and it just kind of kept going, and it's like the other big three stopped. And then New Gen started, and then One Piece just kept going. So I kind of feel like it's its own like separate like kind of thing. So I kind of I feel like if you remove that, it only just affects like that because like I kind of feel like it's I don't know how to I don't know how to does I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Trust, I'm not mad.
Trying to put that shit into words.
I understand the other opinions and everything. What you're saying does make sense because One Piece is just kind of like its own separate. Like, there's not a lot of things inspired by it because it's really hard to like base your anime off One Piece because that's like, dude, you gotta have this like whole ass fucking. You gotta dedicate like 30 years of your life to having a story like that. You know what I mean? That's that like expansive and all that stuff. Where it's like like you said, Dragon Ball inspired the big three, and the big three kind of like or more Naruto and Bleach kind of just branched off and they perfected those tropes that Dragon Ball had, and it's like now other anime are trying to like take it a step further, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
things that happened in this is spoilers for like JJK and Demon Slayer also like, but again JJK had the Sukuna inside of Yuji type shit when he like the quote unquote demon inside. Naruto and fucking Bleach made that shit dope as fuck and made people want to do that. Again, Demon Slayer with Demon King Tanjiro and all that stuff. It's like ended up becoming the actual thing that they're fighting against. Again,
Asta and Deku's
fucking
existence as characters.
Asta and Deku, yes, exactly. Whereas One Piece is kind of just like it's a shonen. It's a shonen because of the thing. Obviously, it surrounds like this teenage boy and his adventures and all that stuff and that. But it kind of just a little bit.
Like it becomes its own like thing entirely. Like it's
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
Like it starts off with the shonen tropes, but like I guess the way that I would say it is that it starts off with like the shonen trope to get you invested, then just completely goes in like a completely different like direction.
Yeah.
With it.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I look, I would. I'm gonna give my answer now to the things. As much as I would love to say like, remove One Piece from Shonen Jump. Shonen Jump crashes. I don't necessarily know if that's true because yes, like One Piece led the charge for the sales in the Big Three era, but I just feel like if that was the time that was destined for Shonen Jump to kind of like erupt with those sales, I think it would have been branched out into other areas. I think that Naruto would have gotten more sales and Bleach would have gotten more sales if you removed One Piece from that and kind of that's just where it all would have gone, just been divvied up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Shonen Jump's time, that was the time for manga to erupt. That was the time people were watching it. People just kind of latched on to One Piece in that moment because at that moment when the Big Three was being created and the sales spiked is when like Enies Lobby and Marineford, Enies Lobby 2 Marineford was being released. Like, that was just the perfect kind of storm of that shit for One Piece. Now, if I got rid of if everything was affected, influence, I do sincerely apologize, ND. I have to agree with Birds, and I have to get rid of Bleach. However, I'm can't get rid of Dragon Ball because that gets rid of anime. Naruto was like my first true love, bro. Naruto was like, yo, as much as I'd say differently on my TikTok, Naruto's one of my favorite pieces of fiction to ever like exist. That I've watched that bitch like 9 times, bro. And when I tell you, I still can't till today. Like that's not even a fucking exaggeration number. I've watched it from beginning to end like 9 times. And when I tell you, I can't watch like Naruto telling his father like, "Tell mom I said I'm eating vegetables." Tell mom like,
Stop, that shit makes me tear up, bro.
Legitimately
Holy
stop.
shit.
Or like when his parents die from the Nine-Tailed Fox, like they have the claw inside of them, and they're talking to fucking baby Naruto. Like some shit inside me just like. Oh, like it just I can't get rid of that shit. And then One Piece obviously is my baby. One Piece is my boo, like snuggled up. I do realize the effects of influence of Bleach and everything like that. I just can't. Those are the two I just can't get rid of. Like, but if we're talking about like if nothing was affected writing and all that stuff, Dragon Ball. And why do I say Dragon Ball? Dragon Ball fans, I'm gonna lock in with you for 2 seconds. Okay, ready? Because fuck y'all right now. I have brain cells. I have brain cells. That's why I say Dragon Ball. Okay? That's why. I know how to think. I know how to put together a thought. I know how to do basic arithmetic. That's why I say get rid of Dragon Ball. You're dumb as fucking dirt if you think Dragon Ball's better written than One Piece, Bleach, or Naruto. You're dumb as shit. You just like dudes fucking screaming. And that's why. Not to say Dragon Ball writing is bad. It just does not even come close. Come remotely close to those. Side characters, fucking plots, villains, fucking Birds was talking about modern day animation and fucking fights and all that shit. You're joking, dude. The Tournament of Power came out at the back end of when Wano started. Why was Jiren vs. Goku not on timing like Kaido versus Luffy? Jiren versus Goku had more of a reason to be on time than Kaido versus fucking Luffy. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Well, more of a reason. Toei Animation gave that to One Piece. They should have given that to Dragon Ball. They should have. Are you kidding me? Jiren versus Goku should have been on time like Naruto versus Sasuke was. Or Obito versus Kakashi was. That shit is so much better. I did not think Bleach was going to be on that type of timing when watching Bleach, but I saw fucking, not Ichigo versus Aizen. Who's the number 4 Espada? Grimjow. Ichigo versus Grimjow, bro. I did not think that show was going to be on that type of timing with fights, but it fucking was, and I was hyped as shit. And even Bleach old choreography, bro, like that shit is better than fucking Dragon Ball. I'm sorry, Dragon Ball fans. If you're talking about depth, if you're talking about dynamics, if you're talking about parallels, there's just... Dragon Ball is very basic. It's not that fucking deep or
definitely reaps the benefits of being first.
Exactly.
Of being one of the first to do it.
The parallels between Goku and Frieza are not that difficult to understand. The parallels between Cell and Gohan are not that difficult to understand. You know what I mean? Even as it gets more and more. Like, I think Cell's the best written fucking villain in that. And he's got depth not even close to as near depth as villains like Aizen or like Madara or like Dofi or shit like that. It's just not close. In my opinion, it's not fucking close. And I am really sorry if that hurts your feelings. Maybe you can take a hammer to your Wi-Fi and claim you broke the internet again. I don't know, but there we go.
Put on airplane mode.
Put on fucking airplane mode, Daima fans. Fuck y'all. Stupid ass fucking fans. That shit pissed me the fuck off because y'all hopped on Twitter 9 hours after the episode dropped and started saying this shit broke the internet. Shut the fuck up. Yo, that term also gets thrown around like.
They should with Gear 5 too.
That term.
They should with Gear 5 too, bro. So many people were hopping on and putting on airplane mode and going, I can't even get on Crunchyroll.
Some motherfucker did that shit on Twitter and fuck with everybody. You saw that bitch in the top of his hair. I was crying laughing at that post. But I do listen.
Turn on your Wi-Fi.
The term, even us OnePlus fans, I said that it's broken the internet on my TikTok, but we gotta get real for a second. The term breaking the internet gets thrown around way too fucking much. Dragon Ball is the only one to actually, and when you talk about breaking the internet is not just like crashing Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll servers just fucking suck. For season 4, the beginning of Attack on Titan, bro, that shit broke Crunchyroll servers for like an hour because nobody could get on that bitch. But breaking the internet is not being able to go on any anime player websites, any website whatsoever, and then having to upload it to the No website in order to get people to watch it. That's called breaking the internet. Crashing Crunchyroll servers for like 30 minutes, like Gear 5 did, that breaks Crunchyroll. The entire internet is a different beast. UI is the only fucking thing to do that. And UI reaped the benefits of not only shitty servers in 2016, but the fact that nobody knew that was coming in the manga.
Yeah.
At all. So everybody was like, we're getting a new Goku transformation. Like, since they released those movies in like 2013, bro, what the fuck is gonna happen? Like, and everybody tuned in to fucking see that bitch. I don't think that's ever gonna happen again, where the entire internet shuts down over like one episode of a fucking anime. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so either.
What do you guys think about that?
They like to say it for other ones too. They like to. I've heard for One Piece doing and breaking the internet. I've heard, and I've always disagreed with it too. I've heard people say that Baryon mode broke the internet. That shit did not break the internet, gang. I can self it. I don't even think it broke Crunchyroll. Not everyone was tuned into that. I'm pretty sure half the fan base was like, "What the fuck is going on with that?" Same thing.
Why did Naruto become a furry? What the fuck?
Yeah, like, wait, what is going on with this? And not everyone was hyped. Same thing with Attack on Titan. Everyone was hopping on it. It's the second anime to ever break the internet. But then you can watch it 12 minutes after it originally launched, anyways. So I don't know. That definitely gets thrown around so much and so much. The qualification should be if you can't watch it illegally.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people consume their anime illegally. I feel like it's definitely over 50%. Like, not many people are purchasing subscriptions to read and watch anime legally. They like to do it for free. So if you can take down the pirate sites, so people are like, oh, I can't buy to see it, let me go on an illegal site. And then that one goes down. And the next one goes down. Fucking 9 Anime goes down. Manga Todo goes down. All that shit goes down. It's like, okay, now you broke the internet. No one's able to see this shit except for like those watch parties they were having in Mexico where there was like 1,000 people in stadiums just watching Goku turn Ultra Instinct. Like, that was the only way they were looking at it, and it looked fire. Let's keep it real. But that's breaking the internet. You can see that shit clearly. No other anime's done that.
Agree, 100%. What you think about that, Andy?
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like the term breaking the internet has been just like thrown around so much, but it's just like, what's the obsession with like breaking the internet? Like, dude, just enjoy your fucking series, dog. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to turn off your Wi-Fi and say that the internet's broken, dude. Just pay your fucking Wi-Fi bill. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Yeah, I'm doing that shit next episode that drops when it comes back. I'm putting it on airplane mode, and I'm gonna screenshot Crunchyroll and be like, "Look at this bitch, bro. Come on now." Look at this bitch, dude. We did it. No different. Say what's up.
I can't load it.
Pirate, it's not loading. And then the same thing happened with Daima, bro. One dude's Crunchyroll wasn't working. Like, sorry that your mom turned your Wi-Fi off. And like, it's not the thing that people seem to forget with Dragon Ball Super, because not a lot of y'all are like children and we're just not around when watching that. I'm not kidding. When every human being on the planet got on every social media app at the same time and said for hours, I can't watch this. Everybody. I couldn't watch it for like 3 hours on Kiss Anime because of how crashed Kiss Anime was. Like, that shit was fucking crazy. That was a crazy ass time. That's just never gonna happen. Alright, big
But I also kind of feel like...
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I kind of feel like going forward as well. Like, I feel like breaking the internet is probably never gonna happen again, just because like I feel like all these all these companies are gonna like make sure that their servers are working so they can make like the money and get the views like as soon as like a hype moment comes out. So I don't think the internet will ever be broken again.
Well, yeah, servers are so much better now, dude. Like, so much better than it was before. Also, Crunchyroll, like, and all those things, like, Crunchyroll's popularity steamrolled hard with it over the past, like, 6, 7, 8 years. You know what I mean? Like, after Dragon Ball Super came out, I think you look at the viewership numbers or whatever, they've, like, gone up, like, times 5 in, like, a span from, like, 2019 to 2021. Like, it was legitimately nuts. So, I don't think they've ever, or any pirated anime websites or whatever, expect that much traffic on their websites at the same time. And I think that's why everything just shut down at the same time, because anime just wasn't that popular until fucking COVID happened, bro. The spike of anime popularity over COVID, because everybody was inside. And that's all you saw on TikTok and everything. Astronomical. Just next level, like, astronomical. And I absolutely do think that nothing will ever touch breaking the internet again. As great of a moment that it was, as trending as shit's gonna be on Twitter going now until forever, like, nothing's gonna shut down everything, and we just have to live with that and be comfortable. Like, Solo Leveling fans, y'all's bitch asses didn't break the internet either the last episode. Like,
got a decent rating.
It got a fantastic rating, all that shit too. Yo, wait, actually no, fuck manga adaptation. We're audibling again. We've been saying we're gonna talk about this for 3 weeks. I'm gonna stop promising we're gonna talk about this and just do it to start one podcast in the next couple weeks. Fucking I want to know how y'all feel about IMDb ratings for anime and stuff like that. I want to give an audible for that. What do you think about milking? I know I do this shit so much, bro, but I do it because people love it when I do it. Milking IMDb ratings for your anime episode. I saw people be like, Soul Leveling's the first anime of 2025 to get a 9.8 or above or everything like that. It's like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm talking to myself, too.
I think it's like, who asked? I mean, personally, like, when I see it's like, One Piece got a 9.8, and then the next episode got a 9.6. I'm like, okay, the 5,000 people that decided to go on to vote said that. Yeah. And then in an hour and a half anyway, there's going to be 5,000 more people going to press fucking 1 star because they want the show to do bad anyways, too. And then it just keeps going. People are like, oh my god, they're rating it 1 star. We got to rate it 5 star. Yo, make this episode the objectively best episode of all time because IMDb says 9.9. Who cares? It's not like it's millions of people either. Like, if it was such a broad spectrum like that, like encompassing millions of people, then I'd be like, okay. But it's like looking at it's like looking at Rotten Tomatoes, like, critic reviews. And it's like, you see how, like, the audience meter is, like, 95% and the critic review is, like, 30. And it's like, okay. Yes. So some, like 7 people didn't fuck with it. Everyone else did. Who cares? That's how I see it. It just doesn't mean anything. It's a ranking, okay?
Facts. What you think about IMDb ratings?
I think IMDb ratings and my anime list ratings mean fuck all. Like, genuinely mean fuck all. And the reason for that is because, like, I couldn't even, like, I would consider myself like one of like of the spectrum of anime fans. I would probably consider myself on the spectrum, on like the part of the spectrum that's like more invested in anime. I couldn't even be fucked to make an IMDb account or a My Anime List account. I just don't care that much. So the only people making accounts are people who are just like really weirdly obsessive about the shit. So like they want like to vote every episode of the series that they like 10 out of 10 stars and vote every series that they don't like 0 out of 10 stars. Like, no, like, it doesn't actually mean anything because most people don't have an account. Most people aren't voting. Most people just don't care that much.
No, 1,000%. Listen, I make videos about fucking One Piece IMDb stuff, but it's because listen, One Piece fans, I'm still your goat, okay? I love you guys. Like, I'm not trying to shit on the whole fan base. Okay, I just need to get that out. Please, I still love you guys with all my heart unless you're an Admiral fan. However, IMDb ratings really mean nothing, and I think it's really fucking weird that there was an entire group of One Piece fans who said, we're gonna go downvote all of Attack on Titan right now to like get back on Attack on Titan fans for having the highest rated series or all that shit. That shit is fucking weird, right? That shit is so weird. IMDb ratings do not mean anything. It's a popularity contest. Because if you genuinely look at episodes like Solo Leveling, Jinwoo versus Tusk versus like the reveal where Eren, Attack on Titan season 4 spoilers, a lot of spoilers in this episode. The reveal where Eren was talking to his dad and said, "Get up." One of the biggest spoilers, one of the biggest plot twists in anime history. Do you really think both of those episodes are genuinely of the same quality? Fuck no. One had a great fight in ore farming. The other had one of the greatest story point moments I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. It literally means nothing. It's like, did we as a fan base get hyped by this episode versus did it actually have good objective writing? It's so many different qualifications than just blatantly naming something like 9.8 stars, 9.9 stars, and then Burns, like you said, people just go on and get so fucking weird about it that they massively downvote. Why the fuck do you care so much?
Nah, your show's not that good. Once off.
It's not like, and just over, because you don't see on anime stuff. You don't see people rating it 8 stars or 7 stars. You see either 1 star
always
or
10 to 1.
10 stars.
Max or lowest.
Get fucked. Sincerely get fucked. Like, I wish there was like a percentage that people could talk about or something like that. But that's, you know what? Maybe it would be the tiniest bit more intricate. But what the fan, like, as a One Piece fan, especially the first watch of One Piece episodes, I'm looking at it from a biased perspective of like, I'm loving the shit I'm watching. Then maybe on a second watch, I could be like, all right, this, and that were wrong with the episode. Of course, if you're a One Piece fan, you're going to go on there and be like, this bitch was a 10 out of 10. This bitch was a 10 out of 10. Nothing gets me. Like, you just gotta fucking relax, realize that IMDb does not mean that much, it does not mean fuck all, and it's just a popularity contest, bro. We do not care.
Bro, that's why, like, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. That shit got, like, when they were, like, saying that, like, guys, can you believe that the top 10 highest rated episodes in the big 3 are all One Piece episodes? And then you look at the list, and 7 of the episodes are pre-time skip, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, you're gonna tell me that, like, pre-time skip episodes with their shitty animation, their shitty pacing, and a lot of the scenes that aren't even all that are better than the best moments in Naruto and Bleach? Like, you're literally you're doing a disservice to, like, the entire community, because, like, this list should have been, like, the best episodes across the big 3 to be, like, have, like, the highest moments across everything, and it's all just one series. Like, so what's the point of that? Like, what? Like, at that point, don't even make the list.
I remember when you made a video on that.
Yeah.
He literally made
y'all
one.
can be listening to this and call me a fucking hypocrite all you fucking want. I like to get One Piece fans hyped, and I know what gets y'all hyped. I know what makes the clock tick. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I love being a hypocrite.
I love being a fucking hypocrite. But these are my, like, this is why we have these podcasts, so I can actually tell you what my fucking actual feelings are about these things. My feelings are about Naruto. My feelings are about I'm being ratings in One Piece. Am I gonna stop making the videos about it to get people hyped?
No.
Fuck no. Absolutely. But am I gonna tell you my true feelings about it while we're on here? 1,000%. It's not, because it shouldn't be One Piece has all of the top 10 episodes in the big 3. That's ridiculous. You're telling me there's a top 10 hype moments and the Aizen reveal's not on there? You're telling me there's a top 10 moments and Kakashi versus Obito's not on there?
Then you
You're
make
telling
the
me
list?
top 10 fight moments and the final battle between Naruto and Sasuke aren't on there? That's ridiculous. Because when you look objectively at One Piece pre-time skip moments, there's so many pacing issues and things wrong with that, despite the hype moments that are included inside of that. That's why there's, I don't know, getting a fucking remake so that they can fix a lot of those fucking moments. Because the anime adaptation sucks ass. I love One Piece. The anime adaptation until Wano could not have been worse. Could not. There's no fucking reason on planet Earth you're animating 0.5 chapters per episode. That should be a crime. That should be legitimately considered a fucking crime, bro. Pause that bitch and go seasonal. 0.5 chapters.
At that point, just make filler. At that point, just make filler.
That's fraud. That's legit fraud. I do not want to hear Luffy's sandals click-clacking on the fucking floor while he's running for 23 episodes in a row. Katakuri versus Luffy should not be the longest fight in anime history.
One Piece is the only anime I've seen where the canon
bro.
is filler. The canon becomes filler with how long it stretches.
How long it's drawn out. Oh my god. The only thing I'm trying to see stretch is Luffy's peen. The other thing, I'm not trying to...
What the fuck are we talking about, gang? What are we talking about right now?
Just kidding. I'm just fucking... I'm not trying to see that fucking shit get drawn out. And notice how Right. Notice how, before we go, just quickly, the stuff in Wano, even the stuff that's now one chapter an episode, which is considered good pacing from One Piece anime standards, which is insane to me, but just has so much more positive feedback on it because they even fixed the pacing a little bit, and it doesn't feel as drawn out. Imagine if it was actually paced as it should be. People would be getting hype about that shit every fucking week from other fan bases. It's a disservice to the anime. It's a disservice to the source material. Like, and you're just trying to fucking make money out of it instead of watching our shit go season. I'm pissing me the fuck off. Like, and you know what? Call me fake ass One Piece fans, but this is what real ass fans do with their actual fucking show. If you can't sit back and criticize what is wrong with the actual show and things that needs to get better, especially when there's a remake being made, you're not a real fucking fan. You're just fucking sitting there for the clout trying to be like, I'm a fan of a popular show. Suck a fat one, bro. That's 1 hour on the fucking dot. How you doing? Damn fucking straight. Do we have anything to say before we go? My fellow Americans?
I think that's it.
Yeah, we got our thoughts out. I think that's lit.
Damn straight, yo. That hour flies fucking by.
Only flies when you talk about peak.
Damn straight. Appreciate y'all. If y'all listen, we can start doing this with every episode, but in the comment section, if y'all have any questions, any things you've seen, like on Twitter or whatever, that you want us to talk about, include that bitch in the comment section. Questions about our favorite, our opinions, like our animes and things like that, which we rather, this, that, and that, which characters are better written. Let us fucking know and we'll talk about that shit, bro. Especially if it gets a lot of likes. If we end up seeing it, let us fucking know. Interact with it in the comment section because we're going to do this shit every week, bro. So we want to know what y'all think about our podcast, too. All right. This is all signing off. Thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode. Catch us next week. We're probably going to get this bitch out more towards the weekend time instead of on a Tuesday morning because, again, it's not my fucking birthday, and we're going to start recording again on the usual time that we do. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching so much. And we'll see you next week.
So.
Have a good night.